Before the release of Storm Connections, a lot of fans were speculating on what the next Storm installment would be and what would it cover. Something new with Naruto, or maybe will they retell some events of the Boruto manga? Well, in the end we got our answer, and it was yet another filler game, which came out in an abysmal state, and you could see that CC2 and Bandai Namco hadn't put any time and energy into it whatsoever. After the release of Storm Connections, the question still remained, what would be now the next Storm game after Storm Connections? It can't be another filler game, right? So it has to be another main Storm title, but what would it depict? The Naruto manga has long ended and Boruto's manga is still ongoing. Well, it turns out that we kinda have an idea on where the Storm series might be heading. On the same day as Storm Connections was released, an interview was released with Bandai Namco's entertainment producer Sudo Hodaka on Bandai Namco's blog website, Funfair. In this interview, Sudo Hodaka talks about his experience in the company, what it takes to be a good producer, and answers some questions regarding creating games. The most important part of this interview is the last question regarding the future of the Naruto games, to which Sudo Hodaka answered, "For Naruto, I don't know yet what it will be, but I would like to plan it from a blank slate. The story of Naruto has already ended, but it would be nice if we could reboot it. Even after the original novel and the movies of the Harry Potter series ended, the popularity of the series has been rekindled with the hit spin-off movie Fantastic Beasts and the game Hogwarts Legacy." So, from this small interview we can gather that there are two possibilities how the next Storm game can turn out. A, they do a reboot of the whole Naruto story, or B, make a spin-off game. Editing me here, we actually have confirmation on the status of the next game. Journalist Ray J. Alice was attending the Japanese Expo, and on a panel CC2 confirmed that Storm Connections is the last game in the series and that Matsuyama wants to focus on remaking everything from scratch and use a new engine. As well, it was confirmed that we will have a long time support for Storm Connections. The reboot part sounds interesting, but I am not sure how they would tackle it. With the reboot, they mean like retelling the whole Naruto story from the start till the end again, only showing the most important scenes differently? I mean, I would love to see the OG Naruto being retold as the Shippuden arcs were in store, but how would they execute it? Make the whole reboot of the whole story into one game? Or again, try to make the multiple games trying to retell the story's events? Creating one game that covers everything and the Storm franchise sounds like a good idea, but could be a tough challenge for the developers and it will take years to make. That is, if they will make it with the same quality as Storm 3 or the later part Storm 4. And yes, I know, the Storm Connections has a dedicated mode that retells the whole Naruto story, but I am sorry. I don't want to relive the important moments through still frames and have some of the fights from the previous games rehashed into one game with lower quality than the previous games.
Did that wake you up?
The other way is to split the story into multiple games, only this time not making any filler games and just focus on retelling the story differently. That way the developers would have more time focusing on the reimagining of the story rather than trying to appease the fans. I think we would be okay to wait a few years just to see a better quality game. Now the spin-off game is the best option in my opinion. There are so many possibilities CC2 could do here. As Sudo Hodaka mentioned about Hogwarts Legacy being a hit, why not create a prequel Storm game where we would play as Minato in the Third Ninja World War, or maybe have a game somewhere between Naruto the last movie and the birth of Boruto. We then could see some events when Naruto is all grown up and follow him on some interesting missions or see him mentor his own team. Another idea would be to do a new Storm spin-off series where with each release we would get a new what if stories from the events of the main show. Something along the lines of Ultimate Ninja 1 where we would play as different characters' perspectives and see them succeed in their goals. For example, what would happen if Obito didn't become evil? What if Jirai beat Pain? There are so many possibilities and ideas that this is literally a goldmine of ideas about which CC2 could make the games, if they don't want to do a Boruto game. Yeah, the third option in my opinion would be to make a Boruto game, but that would take some time, because the OG Boruto story isn't that crazy and I think they would wait for the True Blue Vortex to move up the story a bit more, to make it worthwhile and interesting. The biggest issue with this is that a lot of fans despise the Boruto series and it is not as popular as Naruto is. So that's why Bandai has been merging the Boruto name with Naruto in the past few games, like Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strikers and Naruto x Boruto Storm Connections, just to make the game sell a bit better. Then the last two options in my opinion would be to drop the Storm franchise entirely and A, make a game similar to the OG Ultimate Ninja games, or B, try something way different that is not an arena fighter. Making a sequel, or in this case a reboot of the OG Ultimate Ninja games, would make the fans of the OG Ultimate Ninja series buy this game in an instant. Making a 2D fighting game would bring some fresh air in the Naruto community, since a lot of people are tired of the arena fighter scheme. Who wouldn't love to see an OG Ultimate Ninja game with better graphics, battle mechanics and with a whole Naruto story retelling. Bandai has already done this with Sparking Zero. The game is a continuation of the legendary Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi games, and the hype for this game is just off the charts. At the time of the release of this video, the game is not out yet, but the fans' reception of the game is overwhelmingly positive. Why not do the same for the Ultimate Ninja series? With the B option, they could do like an adventure game of some sorts, with free roaming, exploration, customization, and make the battle mechanics like they did with Storm 3 and 4's free roam battles. I actually talk about this idea in this video, but what do you think of these possibilities? Which one would you like to see being executed in the next Storm game? I personally would love to see the reboot being an OG Ultimate Ninja reboot or create what if scenario games. What do you think of all of this? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's all from me. I wish you all a nice day/evening. Bye guys.